direction. Let her roll. I've seen one. Yep, looks kind of like a jackhammer. Shoot your water on the street. Come across the street.
go ahead and call the meeting to order, please. Go ahead and start with roll call, please.
Grant? Here. Page? Here. Edmonds? Here. Dean?
Here.
Gaston? Here.
Go ahead and observe a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Please join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall in the library behind the librarian's desk. It's also available in pamphlet form. You can also follow the link that is provided in the agenda. Number 5, our consent agenda entails the following. A, approval of August 12th, 2025 regular meeting minutes, August 6th and August 13th, 2025 budget workshop minutes. B, approve request by Northwest Auto Body owner Creighton Grant to close 2nd Street from Pine to Lynn Street for the 2nd annual motor show, Saturday, October 11th October 11th, 2025 from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. C, approve application for permit to cut curb submitted by Cindy Drinkwalter for 915 4th Street. D, approve resignation from part-time transportation driver Jeannie Dager. E, approve advertising for a limited on-call part-time transportation driver. F, approve the SDL at the Crawford Community Building at 1005 1st Street. The Tailgate Bar and Grill for a wedding from 5 p.m. on on September 13th, I'm assuming on September 13th, 2025 to 1 a.m. September 14th, 2025. Can I get a motion for approval?
Mayor, if I can, please let the minutes show that the Master at Arms is here.
Thank you.
I move that we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Page? Here, yes. Dean?
Yes.
Gaston?
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and go to reports, first with golf.
All right, we are up to 23 residents and 6 in assisted living.
Golf, please.
Oh,
First.
sorry, you're good.
Unless you're ready for
I
Villa.
have my notes.
Do we have anybody for
Sorry,
golf?
we haven't had a meeting since my last golf report.
Okay, so we'll have to get you next time. All right, go ahead, Villa. since you're
Okay,
ready. Thank you.
23 and then 6 at assisted living, so we gained. At the picnic, they had a community picnic that was open for everybody. They had 70 people, which is great. The bazaar is September 12th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I believe. The dietary department, they have found ways to economically sustain what's going on there. And then they have changed to a new software for the nurses and the aides and stuff. And apparently 99% of all other nursing homes use this software, so it's easier now. Like if we have to hire somebody, it'll be easy because they'll already know how to use the system. So, anyway, things are looking good there.
Okay, thank you. Swan.
No meeting this month.
Same with NNDC, that's why I had it removed. New business. Number 6, discuss, approve, disapprove the 2023-24 audit presented by Martin Schill with GBE CPA. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did excellent.
Okay, good.
Hi, well, I'm your auditor for the city, and I'm here to kind of go over high level. I believe, did we hand out
Yes.
copies? It's not the full report. You guys are able to have the full report if you'd like. It's available to you online. Also, the draft was sent over, but I gave you the pages that might be important to a board here to look at. And I can kind of go through those with you real quickly. We'll keep a high level, and then we can answer any questions you guys have. The first 2 pages, I don't believe the public has that there, but it is available to the public online. are these 2 pages right here on the front that you guys have. And these are your opinion letters. We did give the city an unmodified opinion, which is the highest level of opinion that we can give a city. It's a clean opinion. I provided these 2 pages and wanted to point out that there is something new on there this year, and you'll see discretely presented component unit is adverse. That is the villa. Now basically what this adverse opinion means is essentially it's not included in your guys' report this year. And the reason we did that is typically the villa report is delayed, and it causes the city to have a delayed highway allocation fund. So you guys don't receive your highway allocation on time. It doesn't mean anything bad for the villa, it just means we departed from the required including of them in the report, and that's why it has an adverse opinion there. Just wanted to make that clear that it doesn't mean anything, it just directs a user to the villa's report rather than it being included in your report. I hope that's clear. Next I'd point at your guys' balance sheets. There, if you go to the next few pages, this just kind of gives you guys this overview of a snapshot in time of what the city had as of September 30th of 2024. You know, it kind of lays out all your cash there. If I were you guys, I would go to the next page, which would be your guys' operating statement here, or they call it a statement of activities for governmental audit. And this is your guys' actual activity for the year, income, expenses, and other activities. Any questions so far? I can stop if you guys have any questions. More than happy to go through anything. Excellent, I'll keep going. The last report I think would draw your attention to that you guys might have questions over. That would be your cash statement. So if you skip a couple pages ahead, I believe it'll be page 10 or 11. Position.
Cash flows.
Page 10. Page 10, right there. This is actually for your proprietary fund. This is the cash actually physically coming in and out. I do believe most people typically like to see that. If there's any questions there. Any financial questions before I go into the audit points here? Okay. We have 3 points this year. 2 of them, I believe, are prior year points. They're very typical for a city of this size. The first one's financial statement preparation. It basically tells you guys that we prepare the financial statements and you guys take responsibility for them. Typically, in an audit, you guys would create the financial statements, we would audit them, we depart from that. That's why you guys have a point. Extremely typical. The second one is segregation duties. One person inside the city would have the ability to handle a transaction from beginning to end. That creates a risk for the city that somebody could take funds. That risk is mitigated, not removed by hiring people of high ethics within your community, and I believe you guys have done so. The last one's very interesting. This one's a little bit different. It's a revenue support point, and I can walk you through that. Basically what happened is within the Gulf accounting software, it was difficult to decipher how much was being paid. A lot of times the deposits were put together and then booked. Essentially what that means is you wouldn't be able to track one deposit to a specific person. I do believe through discussing with them this afternoon that going forward that's resolved. We do not expect this point moving forward. So we do think the new software, I believe it's called Lightspeed, does solve that moving forward. You'll be able to actually trace who paid what round, when they played that round, who bought what beer, when they purchased that beer. That doesn't mean that somebody within the golf clubhouse would sneak on to play around or anything like that. There was always that risk, and that's just inherent in running a golf course. But I do believe that accounting software will clear up that audit point. Any questions there? Pretty typical. I also included in the pages that I provide you, again, it's pages from your report. I included your debt schedule. I believe that's handy just for you guys to know how much debt you guys had at September 30th, 2024. Most people like to have that on hand. It's a pretty good, financial statement note. So I will seek an approval from you guys tonight for the report. I would like to mention the report's already submitted to the state. That's to make sure you're timely so you get your highway allocation money. However, if you guys disapprove of the audit, we are able to send a revised copy or withdraw that from the state if you guys wanted to. Typically, we do get board approval. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to add it or how it works, or we could even add it on to the next meeting, you guys could approve it. What we found was our beginning point on the audit didn't match the beginning point on your guys' last financial statements. The way we can absolve this for future years is to book miscellaneous income and miscellaneous expense between the funds that trues up your guys' balance sheet. And this is pretty important. I believe I kind of walked your team through it, and we can go into more depth, and we can also provide the entry before it's booked for you guys to approve at your next meeting, just so you guys know exactly what will be booked. But essentially it trues up your guys' accounting software to your guys' confirmed bank accounts. I believe the whole entire transaction will net out to about $3,100, I think, in total. It doesn't mean anybody took money. I believe we're actually booking it up. I'm almost confident it's all interest that wasn't booked through a couple of audit periods. So if we can prove that today, or we can add it to the next one, it's fine by me. I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. And it was also included in a proposed journal entry listing. Just wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. I think that's all I had for you guys. I hope I try to keep it brief, because everybody loves going through their financials and everybody loves their auditor, so I apologize for that. But that's all I have for me. I had to seek an approval of the audit. So.
Wonderful. Well, I will go ahead and say thank you on behalf of the city. You guys certainly came in and swooped in fairly last minute to take us on, so that's greatly appreciated, because it becomes harder and harder to find these institutions to help us make sure that these items are taken care of in the way that they need to, especially when it comes to accounting and auditing and all that. So thank you so much for taking us on and helping us out with all this.
No, your guys' team was excellent to work with, extremely timely. A couple of things that we were concerned about that came up that were actually completely mitigated. I feel very comfortable with that. And apologize for the little bit delayed report. I believe it'll be on timely next year. So make sure we get on track to make sure you guys get your high allocation. So.
Thank you. Do I have a motion and?
Motion to approve the 2023-2024 audit.
I'll second.
Do we want to break that down to also include the journal entries that he's suggested also?
Yes.
To approve those also? Okay,
Yes.
so with approved journal entries, and the second still remains?
Yes.
Thank you.
Dean,
Yes.
Page,
Yes.
Gaston.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Number 7, discuss approve, disapprove bid for animal shelter services, please.
It's for the same amount as last year, and, I think it's supposed to be in here, or $250 a month, and nothing changed. They want to get exactly the same as what they have, and,
So it was just the one and only.
yeah. I don't know why that's that. Oh, that's why. So the reason why we don't have the bid is because it should be opened when you do the, so, that was the only bid we received.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second. Dean,
Yes.
Page, yes, Gaston,
Yes.
So bid will remain with the Crawford companion animal services.
yes.
Okay, number 8, discuss approve, disapprove bid for fuel and propane.
Yeah. I've got that bid here.
Yeah.
Just let you open it.
So this one will be the propane bid, and I'll just do fuel since that's listed first, fuel first. Looks like we've got one for each. And those are from Western Co-op Company. So the fuel, the bulk fuel, so unleaded gasoline bulk delivery, price per gallon would be 5 cents. and less the federal gasoline tax. Same with the gasoline or diesel fuel at the pump. It would still remain 5 cents cheaper than what's at the pump is what this reads, sorry. With no tax, and then also non-highway diesel would be 5 cents cheaper in that pump.
It's pretty standard what they normally
Yes.
bid.
So with that being our only bid for fuel, and then our propane. Is $1.749, or yeah, $1.07, excuse me, this is hard tonight apparently, $1.74.9 per gallon is what that comes up to.
Cheaper than the pump, or just, that's not.
This is propane, so it's delivered, and then a minimum of $4,000, or 4,000 gallons to be purchased. And that's based on our 24-25 usage.
I believe the only place they use that is the Southwell.
I believe so.
Is that right?
There's propane and golf.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Well,
There's a little one about
is there one at the gallery?
No, we're not offhand. We had that fuel sheet, but I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't bring it to them.
Okay, so we have one company that bid
Gas.
for both fuel
That was-
options. We have a motion to approve.
I'll motion that we approve the Wesco for fuel and propane.
Thank you, and a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Diane. Roll call.
Page,
Yes.
Gaston? Gaston? Dean?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, number 9. Discuss approve, disapprove, alarm bid presented by Nathan Fox and Jake Tolman.
Now, they're coming from, is it Hemingway that's just up the road? They had a,
Presentation there
something
first.
there, and they asked to be at the end.
We will,
because
yeah,
they should-
we'll just hold that open and move that to the back or the end of our meeting, so we'll just skip 9 for right now, and we'll go to 10, we'll move on to 10. Never mind, that's tied to 9, so we will,
So is 11.
we will move down to actually 12. We'll discuss, approve, disapprove our treasurer's report, please.
Okay, so I've got it included here. The kind of important thing is we did get our highway allocations and they've been caught up. And the kind of interesting news about that is if you look at page 1 of the treasurer's report, down kind of near 2/3 of the page, you know, we have this running figure of our balances owed that we're overdrawing on the water and sewer and whatnot. And if you look at July 31st, it says 208, it would lead you to believe, oh my gosh, we're going the wrong direction. But with our highway allocations, we're actually even less than we were last month. So you can see a consistent on our expenses being less each month, and you can kind of see that as we're guiding it, so. Just something important to, and then, budgets, hopefully we'll be finalizing budgets this week after a bunch of work, and, so that'll be one more thing, and then, we're working with GDE to do the state budget for us, and so we'll have a budget to give to them, and we'll have that all going in a timely manner, for sure. And that's it.
Any questions or concerns about our treasurer's report?
Make a motion to approve treasurer's report.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Dean?
Yes.
Paige?
Yes.
Gaston?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Can we just go to break for what order? You guys? We'll just go ahead and take a recess until Jake can make it, so we can move on.
We can approve bills and claims. Number 14.
If you want, I mean, we can do that, cause that's the agreements that we have wouldn't be added to those, we could do 14. We do 14, but anybody have any questions or comments about that? Go ahead and take a motion to approve bills and claims, requisition orders and transfers. Number 14.
I move that we approve all.
Second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call.
Page? Yes. King?
Yes.
Caston? Yes.
Okay, well, go ahead and take a short recess at 6:22.
And do 13. Maybe,
What's that?
you wanna do 13?
Thank you.
You should close.
You're back.
Oh, and then minutes.
What is
No,
farm?
none yet. Can you come back to town? I bought a piece of art at an art show, and it's this gorgeous stained glass circle, and I'm 15 inches. I want to put it in my front window right by the door. But the problem with the door is when you open and close the door, if it's windy or your patio, things shake. And so I'm concerned about hanging this piece of stained glass. It's got 2 little rings on it. And to just mount them to the top, I'm not sure about. So
It's actually hanging,
it's,
made to hang,
yeah.
mount, yeah.
No, because it's just gonna hang there in front of the window.
Oh, okay, it's not on the door.
Right. I originally thought about hanging it up above, but you can't see it up there, so I thought I'd put it there. And this is really silly, but I kind of wondered about having something go horizontal and be anchored on the side, the right and left of the window, and then just add a link to it, so that the weight is instead of the weight down the window, not at the top, on the top board. And it's silly.
We'd have to really look at it to see.
Right, because I thought if I had a 1/4-inch board and put a little groove in it, and I could have a board on the left and a board on the, so that there's a little cradle effect for that board. And so yeah, I'm trying to figure, it's just harder than I thought. I just thought it was pretty when I got it. That's all harder I thought.
Getting financials of
Well,
you can't act on that information, that's not getting help for you. Moving forward, I'd love to have it.
There's a metal ring there, and there's a metal ring there. So I have
Great, I really enjoyed your guys' team.
3 inches or 5 inches of chain,
We'll see you.
and then something to mount it to.
Coolest thing I ever had.
Right.
So
Part of 3 sink exits.
that's what I'm trying to figure out, trying to find a hole.
We would actually.
it is now.
I'm gonna have to drive by there. take a
Fires
look
in
at your
LA
door,
have
windows.
made it nearly impossible.
Yeah, so when you get back into town and done with the rest of your lists.
Through the side of the destroyer.
Wrong, tell Kevin. You know Kevin, I'm talking about Kevin, works for the city.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Mows the lawn. I said, "Drop to the lawn," and I went into his house, I said, "This thing was just taken." Yesterday.
Yes.
And he had some latest sweets from Colorado.
Okay.
And he was showing me, he's in the middle of some big project. Anyway, yeah, we were looking through his stuff, and he's kind of volunteered to come and help me with my big project.
Pulled in behind this destroyer. And you can see right where the flight goes.
It's so involved,
$10 you can't put a 5-inch round figure.
That's why I keep putting it on.
There's gonna be.
Which one, which one are you talking about? The bathroom? Oh, that's
The whole,
get a new tub?
And surround, I mean, yeah.
But we gotta move the windows, the window sticks into the tub about 4 inches. Yeah, I know.
inside that, there's 40 pounds of sea.
Okay.
I think we could work around it, but he doesn't.
Put that many.
I don't want to.
Oh,
We had holes.
So you're
I
gonna
didn't
put
say
it
we
all?
can't, I just don't want to.
549.
So you're gonna take out the window?
Huh?
You're gonna take out the
not,
window?
not take it out totally, move it
No,
over.
we'll move it over about 8 inches.
Oh, okay.
It's got the original siding on it, and they put 1/2 inch beadboard, which is nothing. And then put steel siding on top of it. And then the windows are all wrapped with aluminum on the outside, so I try and get that off without destroying it. Or have new made. And then there's the old buffalo board, that fiber board sheeting on the building, outside.
Oh, you're making my
And
bathroom
there's-
sound easy.
And there's no exhaust fan in the bathroom now.
All of our
So I want
damage
to
control guys.
drop the ceiling right over, just over the tub, because the tub sits back in about that much further than the little closet that's on the other side of the room. So I could come out, you know, just maybe 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch shy of that, but rather not destroy the corner bead that's there now. Because you're never gonna get it so it won't show up afterwards if you try to line it up.
Uh-huh.
It would show, because it's built out.
What you would do is just
I know.
go through the floor in my bathroom, move the piping, and then
Shoot to kill everything.
Well, you're on a slab though, too. That's worse.
I know, but I'll find somebody. First, you gotta find the tub.
Well, and then now we're on
I
the
want one of
tub.
those tubs with a door.
Slow circle.
Oh,
That's what she's
a
on.
walk-in tub.
Yeah,
But it's only 19 inches tall.
okay.
It's still just a tub,
Trying to stay.
but it has a door. So
But
you
you
don't
lay
have
down
to,
in it.
so you don't,
Well, yes.
so you don't have to step up.
So,
Okay.
if we ever sell the house and people are older than us, who can't do a tub, that door would, they could get into it, walk in.
I looked at
But
the,
still have a tub.
yeah, the shower was there, cause I was looking at that, cause I figured by the time I get the tub, I'll need it.
Cut the center section out.
To lay down in the tub, I wondered if I'd be able to get back up down. And so I kinda like that bench, in fact.
Jody's mom got one, she got snookered into a bad deal. I mean,
So,
it wasn't a bad tub, but, yeah.
tank heater
And
is
she was
pretty much
short.
a dedicated.
So she didn't realize that the seat,
She couldn't sit on the seat, she'd slide off the seat to get her feet to hit the, you know, the other end of the thing.
I told her to get some like pool noodles or something
Everything that we've been doing.
to put on the end so she
Another
could
thing,
reach
like
with her feet to hold herself up.
Oh, what about the little ducky stickers? Give her some grip,
It might have helped.
if she could reach it.
Kind of raw on her
She'd
butt.
have to wear high heels in the tub. She touched the end.
That's such a thing.
I didn't either.
Oh my
And then
Lord.
twice, she didn't get the door latch tight,
Uh-oh.
flooded the basement.
Okay.
Twice. She didn't know it. She didn't even know it. Well, age had something to do with that.
They wanna just have another
Yeah,
As far as I'm concerned, we don't need a tub. A lot of people today aren't even putting tubs in their houses. I'm against that. I think everybody should have a tub, whether,
And that, yeah.
she likes to sit and so, she gets up in the middle of the night, she can't sleep, or she takes a hot bath.
I like that. I do get used to be the tub was to wash the dog. And even when Lynn was a baby and little, we put the baby tub in the baby tub.
I do too.
Yeah.
We got another shower in the basement.
Lizzie's in a blue shower, 1970s, dishwasher. And it needs new, knobs, and I think they're the originals, and so they're pretty worn out, and I'm so tempted to just take one
Remember those days?
because I've got a friend coming to stay. My shower is nice, it's a walk-in shower that they did before we moved in. But hers is such a narrow, people were smaller figures.
Apparently, or
Yes.
his dad put one in the basement, you couldn't turn around in there,
Shower.
the shower,
I
yeah.
never got a response.
And I don't know what his thinking was, he had plenty of room to do something.
No.
It was cheaper,
And money wasn't an
just,
issue.
yeah, it was an issue, but it was cheaper.
Those gals ran out of the trailer house.
Probably
It couldn't have
something.
been, it couldn't have been more than 2 foot square.
It probably was something your mom said, we don't need anything bigger down there.
Probably getting it down the staircase.
Hmm?
Getting it down the staircase.
No, that wasn't an issue.
No, they had a walk-out basement, so they had big doors, yeah.
Ran back in the same trailer house that she ran out of. Oh my God. She was trying to kill herself. She sold the whole thing.
That's a big project, the bathroom. Another fairly good sized one is putting an egress window in the basement.
Okay,
She kicked the whole.
could be important.
And then
Well,
she
we got
ran.
a nice big bedroom down there. Closet. and Good lady.
Walks over, I suppose you guys need this one too.
Little bitty window. Now, and I was on the fire department for 12 years. I know how important it is to have a window.
I don't think we had any ordinances.
Don't nothing, well, it's a nonsense time in bed. It's bed, but it's not a laundry. You can't count it as a bed and something else.
Okay. I think I'd rather have a staircase. Flip a coin.
Fire could be in the stairway.
Yeah.
Gotta have it. And we've looked, I've looked into, I'd rather do that project than that bathroom.
Well, the one in the girls' house, because it's not an issue with my house. It's on the north wall.
That's why he chose to, because he wanted to piggyback.
Someday I'll take off that basement. I'll be able to afford it. Over at Carol's house.
When we remodel it, there's nothing down there.
Okay, design it.
Finish it.
Finish it.
Yeah.
I've got so many different ideas for finishing that space, because the last thing I want is a big, like all the houses have.
Most all your city cops are starting at $16 an hour.
Yeah, you can put 3 bedrooms downstairs.
But putting that egress window in, our house is within,
Electrician.
if it's within code,
Makes common sense.
the lot size. We have supposed to be 5 feet from our house to property. I don't know if it is, but if I put that egress window in, I'm coming out 3 feet. At least 3 feet out. So this could be egress with a big hole out there, which they make covers for, but it's gotta be a cover that you need to get out, you can't. From inside. And I know my neighbor, Steve, if I make a big mess in his yard, put that in, and I'll clean it all up. Depending on the neighbor you have, some wouldn't want you doing it.
The knucklehead that built my house, it's 3 foot from my property line. Well, I guess Bruce was telling me that the guy that built my house and the guy that built his house said, well, you can go ahead and take 5 foot, that would be fine, so they built the fence at 5 foot. And he went ahead and built his house where he wanted his house to be.
Tells you a bunch
Because,
of commands, oh,
I
say,
mean,
okay,
what?
move your
My
drill.
good old
garage,
days.
my garage door's 3 foot from the alley.
Push it forward. And it'll tell you.
I was thinking, Bruce moves in,
Takes over.
and somebody else moves into the house.
It knows all the speed
And-
limits, it slows down, it speeds up, it does.
Raylene says, you know, the property line is actually here. So Bruce checks it out and gets it repinned, corrected, builds a fence where the edge should be. That's why I've got the beautiful fence in the kitchen.
It'll give warnings, and
I'm gonna go out
Well,
there
you
and
don't have
fix the
a,
fence.
you don't have a garage, you have a storage room.
emergency brakes on.
It will be a studio
It'd
someday.
be tough getting in your garage with a full-size car.
How did they do that? Because in the 70s, those cars were big.
Yeah,
Unless they had a
even a
couple.
standard pickup.
Because it's not a tiny garage.
No, it's got a big door, that's a good thing.
If it's 20 foot deep, because I've gotten Subaru a few times. And then I did.
You got shelves down the middle of your
Subarus are cute. But I got the Subaru, but then it occurred to me if we get a blizzard, who's gonna shovel the driveway?
In theory,
To shovel
all
all
you're gonna
over
do
the
is
street.
research.
So, so it's gonna be a beautiful
They
studio.
get complaints by the night, he's not really- that's why he's not really care.
Yeah, he always had
Right,
some
so
courses.
it's not really to do.
Well, the new pastor has room for jet ski and his fishing pole to park alongside because the church owns 3 or 4 lots, 5, well, the whole block. They got the whole block, north and south. But they're not good for anything over there anyway, nothing grows except weeds.
Yeah, the ground. I saw the black pickup, so I assume that's his.
Yeah, that's the son. And it runs, he drives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
did they-
started it up on the trailer and drove it off the trailer and parked it back there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they didn't drive it.
He's got another one that's almost the same, only 3/4 gone 4-wheel drive.
Is that the project car? Or is there another?
I don't know, because they hauled it up here on a trailer.
Because there's 4 vehicles, a jet ski, and a project vehicle, and a trailer.
Well, that little trailer, that's in the garage, it's a little It's about 4 foot wide and 8 feet long, it's plus a ton. And he's got a box built on it that's only about 2 foot tall, and the ends open up. The top is solid wood. It's a big box with both ends that open. They hinge up and you can actually flip the lid, put it
And it's
over.
only 4 inches tall?
Yeah,
What's used?
camping. You put your totes and all your tents and your firewood and everything else you need to camping.
You're driving down the highway, you got those locomotives coming up.
Maybe he still hasn't moved. He is only 44. He hasn't gotten into the hard tops and you know, we started out with a pop-up.
We had an A-line.
What?
Our headlights, you know, we can adjust.
What do we have?
We just had a pop-up, but the A-liner is like that one
The
that,
little A-frame.
yeah,
Oh,
like
Dale
Dale
Dunn
had.
has one.
Yeah.
Loved it. We bought it from a small family. We were more size appropriate for it. Minty was 5.
Well, we looked at one not too long ago. What was that called?
It's a hybrid.
Hybrid?
Looked at.
So it was like a 20, maybe only 20 foot long, but it had a slide out. And then both ends folded out, so you had your beds, your sleeping area. So when you're in there, and you got the slide out, it's like a room like this. It's huge, because your beds are beyond. In the winter, it'd be cold sleeping.
Oh, in the wind, I
In the wind,
another place that pop out, if they're solid, or if they're.
they got jacks underneath the thing, and there's all kinds of support that support the bed. We used to have,
If you put the jacks out, it's stable. If you put the jacks up, it's stable, but if you don't, your sister and brother-in-law tip it down.
yeah, we got it set up, because her sister came. We just set it up, we only put the jacks on the end where the door is to get in the front. So they decided to use the bed.
Around the corner, around the canyon.
Somebody's got one of ours.
Well, only one of them crawled in and it was okay with one, the other one crawled in and the whole camper went, boing.
And we heard this giggle
We
and
giggle and laugh and go on.
what the heck? We didn't hear the camper tip.
Memories.
They have to climb their way out.
I don't remember if they were able to crawl back up into the uphill into the main part, or if they loosened the canvas and rolled up.
Yeah.
Well, you can reach around from inside. There's bungee straps, elastic straps, you know, when there's hooks under the floor. Sleeping area. You can reach around and get out of there if you have to. They say you don't want to use that type of camper in a national park or anywhere where they have bears.
Supposedly you can't, and they won't know how you. We've seen people in tents and stuff.
I love it. I could put it together by myself. I could have done it, but I
I've never even, I've seen one because somebody in town had one. Kind of, I don't know, if it was Lee Miller's or somebody.
No, it's that guy that lives behind us.
When somebody says something,
Between him and Carrie, our house in the alley.
Oh, well, I know somebody had one. I remember seeing it set up, but I've never been in one. Now, McCrody's had one. I've never, we know them, we're good friends with it. I've never, they've never had it set up there.
That's what you gotta do, you gotta go to Camp World or wherever and
We've
call
been
it
there.
date night.
We've been there. We've been to every camper in the Front Street State area.
I've gone full speed. I think I wanna get an old Chevy van and have my dad outfit it and just drive
There's,
around and
I
camp.
just saw an ad, there's companies doing that. They get a special order from Chevy or Ford or Dodge or whatever. So they got that extra high extended roof up, and then they custom built to the what you want for living in it.
Shag carpet and paneling.
And brought it back to him.
A permanent bed, they got a kitchen, and it's open, so, you know, it's like those vans, when you sit here and drive, and the passengers there, and then it's open. So, you know, you could, your passenger can get up and go back and get you a beer.
I couldn't believe it. Just trying to get airborne.
I had a friend, they go from Windham, Minnesota, out to Custard, and we were living there. He had a cooler with beer, next to his seat, he goes to the motorhome, all the way out. We got in, rode with him down to Cheyenne, Ron had a beer in his hand and a cigarette in the other hand the whole way.
Did he stop?
Follow behind
No.
him. And just to get the kill site. So the mountain
Well,
lion
stop
killed
now, he's
deer.
dead.
The wolves would leave it alone. And then it'll go on and find its own.
Hopefully he had the road to himself.
But he'd drink steady like that all day long and it didn't affect him.
Yeah.
He was conditioned.
Sounds like a brother-in-law.
He's lucky he never got stopped, I'm sure.
Fair board.
I don't know if you know how you guy that's here in town. So it's not up to his.
But he's one of those kids that started drinking when they were in high school. I never did. But there was a lot of kids that did.
He got to about 100 yards. It was a straight
I started after high school. I still wasn't 21. And it was fun. Yeah, then.
We're sitting down with a little rifle on a
I
tripod,
know the
trying
sons
to
I
find
committed
where
since I
these
was baby.
they were either
And he has a 17-year-old daughter. And right at the bar, and then I'm trying to leave it.
We're working
She did.
up there, we're doing
Well, you never know what were your parents like, you know? So they got married,
Well, yeah,
I assume.
let's see, within a month of my graduating from high school, my dad moved out. So did his duty, yeah.
No, they had three, my uncle had 3 kids. When the youngest
My dad didn't wait for
graduated, when the youngest one graduated, my mom was
Now,
gone.
just calls, electronic calls. Which the funny part is, now they know that there's 6 more guys down
Mom was
there.
I graduated
They know each one of the females.
Are you learning anything?
So yeah, there's a mess now.
Got any stories you want to contribute? But my mom and dad, I've heard stories about my mom and dad. I don't know how young they were when they started dating, but my mom was pregnant at 13 and worried about us kids. She was gonna give money for Norma tonight and went over, but she thought Norma was pregnant. We didn't have a kid till we were married for 4 years.
Well, Carol got married at 18, Colorado Springs, she got herself a soul, she got married, and so she's like, when's Lindsay getting married? And I'm like,
Never.
My dad worked for one of his uncles, when he was 15, 16, whatever he was old, out on the farm work.
Surprisingly,
And he'd come rolling in, you know, from out catting around all night, shut the motor off a half a mile away, and go into the yard to sneak in the house, and my Uncle Louis do it. And he'd go in and roust him up, and said he hadn't been home in bed half an hour. Come on, it's time to go to work. He knows he just barely got in there.
Yeah, I was like, why are we actually don't even know this?
I had 3 older brothers and 2 younger sisters. And I didn't do a whole lot because
She
they
was a wild.
did.
no,
Yeah.
I take her in there and I don't know what it's like.
There were 15 kids in my dad's family.
You need to do it again or you need to go more.
Well,
Kids are raising their business.
his mom said, you know, you heard the old saying, barefoot and pregnant. He said, I think Grandpa wanted her that way. He made sure of it.
my grandpa had 10 brothers.
All right, we're running out of stories.
I know, right?
Are you listening?
We're awfully close.
Are you listening to them?
We got, I feel like now I should have been. No, I missed out. We're about 8,
They're waiting for you.
10 minutes out. They're coming down the hill, they should be here shortly.
Is that, I don't even know what that page is.
Oh, here, good luck. I don't know either, it's a bunch of.
What's that?
Ones there in town. Get used quite a bit. So, but for new users, they were really cool. You got power all over the place. Probably, wireless.
They like, they were getting they were getting days off, you didn't have water.
Lisa, I have my mom's diary that lasted about 5 years. And I had read it many times. But I found that I really wanted to know some things. And because my dad moved in with her mom and dad before they were married. Apparently, they kicked him out of the house for something. He got in a fight with a brother. But they had house dances all the time. Like 3 times a week, they'd go to someone's place and my dad played in a band and they would, or they'd go to movies. And they didn't have 10 cents to their name. And they went to the movies all because my mom says, well, it was only a nickel a show. Well, yeah, but you didn't have a nickel back then. And then she ordered her wedding ring from Montgomery Wards. And so then, in a couple weeks it comes in and we're gonna show mom and dad tonight. She called them mother and father, which I think is funny.
Can't hardly even see all the carving and shit. Wanna see mine?
For the detail,
It's brand
it
new,
used to be
right?
antique.
I don't like wearing rings. I had an uncle. He had his finger pulled off.
Because it caught his ring from the
Caught
farm
his ring
truck.
jumping
The
down
guys
on
know
it.
where
Yeah,
the
it
city
came
code
across
is.
the scanner and when they were saying codes and everything, I was like,
Letting just took off.
of course I do.
And I've never been able to tell if they were serious.
Jake from
Because my cat says they're more friends.
And who's this?
Remember Benton?
He was coming from him.
The family that used to sit in front of us in church. would have
Yeah,
to-
yeah.
That was the telephone.
Yeah.
Well, he took off this month. He's over in Casper learning how to become an electrician.
Did he graduate high school?
He did?
I think we ran into him in Walmart one day. And he come over and said, "Oh, I got Phil." And it was like, I shocked to see him for one thing, and it's been a while. But I was surprised that he came over and talked.
I'm sorry, it was my coming from Gordon.
I'm really hoping.
Had all these farm convoys with combines and semis. And they're driving like 25 miles an hour. And you'd go from one hill to the next. And there'd be like 5 of us. I'd be flying, trying to pass like 5 at a time,
My
and
first
get back
marriage,
in
I
for the
didn't get
next
married
hill.
till I was 20.
Come down the next hill, swerve,
29.
pass 5 more, and then
How old
back
was
to
that one?
25. I'm like,
When she got married?
Yeah. 28, 29?
No. They got married in '04.
fresh oil.
She was born in
All
'78.
kinds
She was
of,
25,
yeah, they had
something like that.
farms shut down the road and everything.
I don't know, I'd have to get my phone out, the calculator,
Working
right?
at the one, she
Well,
was
this
just on a
concept of
cooler,
getting
on her
married
lap,
at 18,
not paying attention.
Yeah.
just blows me away. I mean, probably would have been better for me if I had. But,
26.
Well, I told her,
Instead of having a
talking to our
personality.
granddaughter, she was dating this kid, and I said, is he treating you good?
She got a remote control,
Well,
whatever
yeah.
around her neck, she was
He
pushing the
was,
button.
he had their life planned out. They were married by
Yeah, so the road
20 and kids by 21 and this and that, and I said, Maya, there's a whole world out there for you to see, you know.
Don't go getting
Yeah.
locked in for marriage after 18.
Yeah.
Is your speed limit 95? Not that I know of, mine's speed limit
You did what?
I worked at a university
Oh, you
for 20
worked at
years.
it.
Yeah, it's not worth a piece of paper.
Went to college? Yeah, you went to college.
Well, I had a degree.
Yeah, I wish them luck.
You showing up on time?
Careful, I've got a son.
License
It took me 16 years to get that degree. I kept coming and going and coming and going. And then I got married, and every time I started classes so I could finish my degree, he started fighting, so I couldn't make it to class. So I had to wait till I was divorced the first time I finished college. But,
Next day, you get a call, and
no,
pick up part.
How old were you when you finished college then?
38.
So my truck miraculously made its way home, sitting on.
Lindsay was born a year later. So,
Did you have a big party?
no,
Teenagers from Shattuck.
no, I was just glad that I was done.
That truck.
And I knew I didn't want my master's. So,
And you didn't want to. Why?
They would come to shatter and start breaking up everything. Just killing people.
I had had enough experience working with people. I didn't want to be a counselor, a therapist. You know, I wanted to finish the degree and have a degree, but I didn't need that degree. I just need enough use and abuse of it. Yeah.
Man, if you just get, let's,
But, no, I
might as well get out and push.
Lynn could become a dog groomer and make better money.
Yeah, that was something else, you know, our nephew.
Considering most
He was-
agencies
he's
now
super
won't allow
smart,
you to
he
do
is
chases.
talented, he is a go-getter, and he told me one day, he said, you know what, Norma Cooper, my mom thinks that I need to go to college. I said, what do you wanna do? He said, I wanna own a shop that scraps out snowmobiles and repairs snowmobiles. I said,
And sells new ones.
sells parts and whatever.
Called in and had
And,
training, hey, we can't do
and
this no
she
more.
just said, there's so much outside of this little circle of Wyndham, you know, that's why she wanted him to go to college. Well, he ended up doing a 2-year stint with Caterpillar, and they paid
Just a
for
natural born
everything.
mechanic.
And now he's working for him. That's what he does. That's what he loves.
She fixed it.
He signed a contract with them, they'll pay for all his schooling. He signed a contract to work for them for 2 years. I think it's just 2 years. And
They paid all his tools, bought all his tools.
He bought him a whole bunch of tools, and they send him to the different plants that they have in Iowa and I don't know where.
Wherever.
They got at least 3 different big plants, so he knows what they're doing in each one, and he gets to work at each one, learning
All
all
the
the different stuff.
equipment.
And he's just amazing, he's just a go-getter. He bought a small used track hoe, you know, tracks, and it's got the big grapple hook and stuff, and a blade on the front. And he goes out and
He started with his
he
own
started his
business.
own business doing, going out to farmers, got old buildings that need to be torn down and old foundations torn out.
Cleaning roads.
Cleaning up the roads, and he bought a beat up old dump truck and fixed it
And he'll
up.
be 21.
Oh my word. See, that's,
Yeah. And we said,
He
you know,
rebuilt the motor in his pickup, I mean, it's all hopped up, it's way more than motor than he needs.
and then Maya, our granddaughter, is going to school for welding. And she absolutely loves it.
okay, okay. Gary keeps saying he wants to teach Lynn how to weld. But,
Our other granddaughter, Kaylee, said, well, just don't start your pants on fire like I did.
Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry for the delay.
What, the bar closed?
Popular band, that's all right.
the trades, I think,
Yeah, yeah.
Even a couple minutes to get your
well, we
breath.
still would support her art,
Come back.
Yeah,
so she could do whatever she wanted with her art and still be able to eat.
that's true.
Yes.
And that's as far as I know, that was all we can ask them. I mean, that's just. Gone.
You're good.
He's vegan,
Oh, no.
been married twice now. And that's it, there's one. Married, some that had kids. So she his age.
Now we're waiting on you. meeting back to order at 7:01. And we'll go ahead and revisit item number 9, and discuss approve, disapprove of alarm bid presented by Nate Fox and Jake Coleman.
Okay, so the first thing I wanna go over with you is, this is the renewal offer on policy that you currently have with Continental Western Group. There's a few things on there, the highlighted public transportation policy, we'll discuss that in a little bit here, but that one, it's showing 38% increase, that's because we've added another vehicle to that. That policy we're probably gonna wanna keep, for public transportation. We get down to the bottom of that, and with that, we're at 129,000 on the renewal offer from Continental Western Group. Apples to apples, you know, they're, even without any, longevity discount at Larn, we're $12,000, more on premium than Larn, the Continental Western. So with that, I'll turn it over to Nate to talk about the Larn proposal here.
So, what we did, basically apples to apples quote comparison, what you have now and for the same one. So, a few of the pieces are set up a little differently than the current policy, but coverage wise, it's all there, essentially. So, just going down through the quote, you have your work comp, which again we quoted, same payroll. On liability coverages, Larn provides $5 million per line of liability coverage, where Continental Western does $1 million per line of umbrella sitting over top of all of those. Both ways, you get $5 million liability coverage, which is the Nebraska state limit for a city to be liable for any one claim. Law enforcement liability, we did include that here, $1 million limit. And the reason we do that is that's so that if the city was ever named in a law enforcement related lawsuit, you would at least have defense cost coverage paid. So, you know, would you really be liable? I mean, no, you don't have actual law enforcement, but at least it would protect you, provide you that defense cost coverage. And it's a minimal cost, you can see. Auto liability, auto physical damage, same thing, quoted straight across, same deductibles. And then the big difference between the two from a coverage standpoint is on the commercial property. So with Larn, the deductibles quoted here are $1,000 property deductible and $1,000 deductible. Continental Western, it was $1,000, $5,000 standard deductible with a $25,000 wind hail deductible. So, yeah, go ahead, coverages, that's the biggest difference between the two. Other than that, there are some other more technical differences which I'm happy to get into if you want.
That'd be great.
Okay, so there's also a co-insurance requirement for Continental Western, which co-insurance means you have to insure up to a certain percentage of the replacement cost value of that building. For easy numbers, we'll just say 100% co-insurance requirement means you have to insure that building for the full cost of what it would cost to rebuild that building today. If you have a claim and you don't have insured for that value, then you face a co-insurance penalty. So, you know, say it's a building that would cost $200,000 to replace, you have insured for $100,000. You have a claim on that building to the buyer. The claim, $80,000 claim. So because you only had it insured at half of what it should have been insured at, you would only get paid half due to co-insurance penalty. Larn does not have any co-insurance requirements. So if you join Larn, they have a gentleman who will come out and do a property evaluation. So he will go around, look at all your buildings, basically figure what replacement cost would be on those buildings. They do have some special coverages like this building here, where they call it functional replacement cost. Because true replacement cost on a building like this would be very high. to really rebuild it like it is. Functional would be to replace this building with a building, same size, but modern construction. So, you know, instead of insuring this for 800,000, maybe it's 300,000, something like that. So, you know, two things with that, it saves some premium. But then also with him doing the evaluations, they don't have a co-insurance requirement because the responsibility is on them to make sure you're properly insured on all your buildings. It takes the responsibility off of you. Now, that being said, we've talked a little bit about the values on some of these buildings. And most likely, they would need to go up.
When's the last time you had assessed values on these, or that has been adjusted for
Well,
values
so-
on our plan?
Over the last few years, EMC was pretty strong on trying to get those property values up to at least that 8% of where they thought they were. When we went with Continental Western a year ago, there again, we looked at them and said, this is what I think replacement cost is, whether that's, you know, it's kinda like me trying to say what farmland's worth, was
Sure.
sometimes until the time of loss, you're not getting what it's really worth, but, again, that goes into the appraisal side of things where there's a little better eye than mine looking at it. But we have looked at those values and tried to keep up with inflation, along with trying to be reasonable, so I'd say, I think we're within 10%, 10-15% on most. On this building, for true replacement costs on this one, I think we're insured on this one at like 400,000. Like Nate said, we're probably closer to 8 for true replacement, like kind of quality on this, but if we're looking at the same footprint with a Morton building, insulated Morton building, something like that, we're probably closer to right on value.
You know, and with a lot of policies that I work with, especially coming over, after what's happened the last 3 to 5 years with inflation, I mean, it got away from everybody. You know, it really, we just couldn't keep up. Even with the inflation adjustments that were being automatically put on policies, the cost of utilities has just skyrocketed in the last 5 years, and so it's been hard to keep up. But again, you know, going back to Clayton or Scott, whoever it is that comes out, this is what they do. And, you know, with cities, there are a lot of unique type properties too, that it's really hard to value. You know, and that's what they do, so they know them fairly well. At the end of the day, the main thing is make sure you guys are insured properly, you know, make sure you have enough coverage, you know, when something happens, so. The other difference is replacement cost versus actual cash value. So, Lauren's property policy is all replacement cost, which is what you normally have on your house. You know, roof gets nailed, you pay the deductible, you get a new roof, that's replacement cost. Actual cash value is depreciated value. So, if you have a 30-year shingle, roof gets nailed, is 10 years old, they're gonna pay you 2/3. So with Lauren, all the properties are replacement cost. With Continental Western,
We've got a few that were on the AACB schedule, the old hospital, the golf shop.
City Hall, and
No, I think City Hall, I think that one's replacement cost.
so those are the main differences. Questions on any of the?
yeah, I'd like to dive into more of what you have for the automotive damage and liability and whatnot there, especially where we've got that new bus, and the new bus came to us at 0 cost, so, and it is a 2024, it's fairly low in miles. But we also live in, I don't wanna say the word out loud, cause I don't believe in that word, but it's the H word. We also live in that type of country. If that were to get substantial damage that way, what are we looking for deductible on that vehicle specifically as an example?
When we're talking about the public trans, The alarm policies do have, an exclusion for, livery, which, that's why that policy, I'd recommend keeping that in place. There's $1,000 deductible on that policy right now, $1.5 million, liability on it. So, that one's,
And that doesn't change with the wind and hail on automotive, I mean,
No,
it's still the
that's
basis of
$1,000.
comprehensive inclusion. Okay, that would make sense to keep that in. Especially if it's only 1,000 on that vehicle, that's great,
yeah. So,
okay.
like I said, to cover those gaps in coverage on the livery exclusion,
Mm-hmm.
that would be my recommendation, to keep that policy in place.
And would that be just for the transportation vehicles, or would that be for our city?
That is just for the transportation vehicles.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
So the rest of the city vehicles, they all have full coverage, $1,000 comp, $1,000 collision deductible. And so, you know, on those, if it gets hailed, you know, you get paid to fix it essentially. Otherwise, it's just like your personal auto, it's actual cash value or current fair market value,
Right.
you know, so they would blue book it.
Right.
And that's what you get paid, you know, got your whole.
Roll out, yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's a good one too.
yeah.
So we really, it would just be the transportation only that we would need to supplement. Okay.
Any coverage questions, anything on that one?
Do we have, I know last year we were concerned about meeting minimum requirements as far as the health of some of our facilities and buildings. Or do we have those same concerns coming into alarm? I mean, cause we really haven't been able to assess some of those yet. Electrical in the hospital building, for example.
I still have concerns, not on necessarily on the insurability through alarm, but just on the function and the general upkeep on,
Right.
you know, from a liability standpoint with electrical, especially if the cop shop was one that
Right.
was terrifying to me.
So, I mean, as far as inspection and approval of farm, they don't have any set requirements. They're not gonna come out and look at your building and say, oh,
We want
you
to ensure
can't
that
use
is, yeah.
you know. Going back to like liability always comes down to a question of negligence. You know,
Sure.
was the city somehow negligent, you know, in causing the injury or damage or whatever it might be? And so when you have buildings like that, they're in disrepair, or that have electrical issues, or things like that, then you obviously have a lot more, probably more concern if you have a liability exposure.
Right.
Because it's known,
Mhm.
it's an issue, it's a risk. And so, you know, that's where I would probably have more concern as far as making sure it gets taken care of.
We've got ideas in place. It's in motion, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Both of them that were mentioned, so we're working on it. Any other questions, concerns?
So, looking at the coverage here and the quotation. So on the right, you have 110,000 quote. At the bottom, there's a chart. The alarm offers discounts if you do a commitment of more than 1 year. So you can see if you do a 3-year commitment, it's 105,000, it's 5% discount is what it is. Now, I do wanna make sure it's clear, if you do a 3-year commitment, it gives you the 5% discount each year. It does not lock in that rate for 3 years, so.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
That would've been even better.
Everybody would love it, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the way insurance agents feel about it, really.
Lock it in for 3 years.
Yeah, so, you know, rates will go what they will.
So, our rates can go up, the 5% still doesn't roll to all 3 years, it's just the first year that you get the 5%.
So if you do a 3-year the first year, then every year you get a renewal resolution sent to you. So then next year, your option would be either to do a 3-year again, or drop down to a 2-year, which is 5% or 4%.
So we would still potentially get another 5% if we decided to increase renew for another 3.
So,
Okay.
Alarm has 250 members. 75–80% of those members do a 3-year every year. Just because they don't plan to do anything different, take advantage of the full discount, they just keep rolling that 3 year. So, yeah. Do you have any questions on LARM? What it is, how it works?
You said you have 250 members?
Yeah.
I guess I'm interested to know, of those 250 members, how many of them, or maybe a percentage of them are like us, or Class 2 cities in Nebraska?
So, I'll just kind of run through the neighborhood up here. So Harrison, Chadron, Hemingford, Henry, Lyman, Mitchell, Morrill, Bayard, Oshkosh, Alliance, Scottsbluff, Marytown, Gary. Really, I should, probably easier would be basically the whole panhandle, except for Hay Springs, Rushville, Bridgeport, Sydney, pretty much everybody else is with Lauren,
Sure, sure.
so.
That would fall quite nicely in the middle of that, so.
Yeah, there are a lot of communities your size, that 1,000, give or take population, a lot of communities your size, it's been a good fit.
One of the concerns that had always been brought up, in the past was, okay, Larm's a pool, so if there's a big loss, there could be an assessment against your rate may not be what your rate is. If there's a big loss, that assessment would be shared. In doing more due diligence and research on that, Larm does have reinsurance contracts. Larm does have, there is that assessment portion that is there. In talking with Nate, that's never been exercised in the last, since 1994.
Been out for 30 years. Yeah.
So that's one of those things that, again, one of the boogeymen that has been
Right. I mean,
out
'cause if
there.
you pick one of those small communities that gets wiped out by a tornado, and something the size of Morrill, and they're completely gone, that's gonna be a substantial hit for you guys.
Yeah, so the way that works, I don't know how far in the weeds you want to get here, I can explain.
You're good.
Okay, so, London Insurance Pool, basically it's a partnership between all 250 members going together to pool their resources and go out and buy high deductible insurance as a group. At the city level, you still see the same coverages, same deductibles, all of that. Larm buys reinsurance, so when you have a large loss, like a liability claim, Larm pays the first 300,000, and then reinsurance kicks in after that, and reinsurance picks up the next, however about that. It's the same thing on property. Property isn't quite as clean, there's kind of some tiers to how the property pays out, but for an easy example, of how it used to be set up, was a clean, when Pilgrim got hit by twin tornadoes.
Right, I was saying that's a great
That's
example.
where I'm from.
She's
Oh, are
actually
you
from
really?
there, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, Pilgrim was a
I
Larm
lived
member at that
there.
time, they still
Yeah.
are. With Larm's reinsurance contract, an occurrence is a 72-hour period. So it's all damage that happened in the 72-hour period. So when that happened, Pilgrim got hit, and like 5 or 6 other communities had damage from hail and wind and whatever else. At the time, Larm's retention was 200,000, I believe, 250,000. So they paid the first 200,000, and then reinsurance picked up the next, 1 to 2 million or so on Pilgrim, plus the damage to the other properties, or other communities, I mean. So one of the big misconceptions is that if North Platte or Scottsbluff Gainers get hit by,
Bigger.
neither twisters,
Sure.
that it's gonna bankrupt Larm, and they wouldn't have enough money to pay out. In that situation, same thing. They would pay the first, at this point, it's $500,000, first payment of the year, might be $1 million. But they would pay that first level, let's say it was a $25 million loss. They're just paying that first level, $500,000, $1 million, whatever it is, and then reinsurance picks up the next 20 million, 25 million, 24 million. So they have stop loss, it's structured in a way that there's a stop loss in place there, so that they have enough cash on hand to, take care of all the claims and the losses, things like that. And yeah, that's the concept of pooling, is all these communities go together as a group, they can afford to take on a certain amount of risk, which then allows them to buy essentially high deductible insurance, which is more cost effective for the group. And so that's how it works for everybody.
Okay.
A couple differences between alarm and standard insurance. All policies run 10-1 to 10-1, so they match your fiscal year. So for you guys, you still start September 19th. There'd be a really short prorated term here to start with, and then you go 10-1 on. Every year, get your renewal numbers in July, which everybody loves for budgeting reasons.
Yeah.
You know, so that way you have plenty of time to figure that in. If you ever would wanna leave alarm or go out for bids, you can only do that at renewal. So that's the difference from standard insurance, you can cancel anytime. It has to be a 10-1. You also have to give notice to the entire pool that you're doing that. And that's a communication thing. Same as you wanna know if Scottsbluff, Peter, and North Platte, you know, if they're all looking to go out for bids, that would change things. You would need to know. Sorry, I've been talking all day, so my voice is
You're good
a little
so far.
lower up. It's not in any way to keep you track, things like that. It's just a communication thing. It's a requirement for communication. And that's where you can see on that chart, it says 90-day, 180-day notice. Yes, if for some reason somehow alarm ended up going bankrupt, there could be an assessment on the members because of that shortfall. But through the stop loss I was talking about, actuarials, that all of that, you know, they make sure to maintain rates of it at a healthy level, and keep enough surplus on hand that they don't need that. They're governed by a board, 15-member board, that is all appointed elected officials from member communities. So they all have skin in the game. So all the decisions they make, they have to live with also, whether it's a coverage change or a rate change, you know, whatever it might be. They all are in it basically with you guys. Other part of that, can't think what it was now, but, I guess that's most of the high points, you know, obviously there's a lot more to it that I can share.
No, but that covers a lot of, I think, the basics of,
How it works.
Yeah.
And how it operates. And
yeah.
the risks or concerns, you know, a lot of the concerns that we hear frequently. The other part of alarm that members really live on is this is all they do, is cities. I personally work with over 75 communities, so I'm the agent for the western part of the state. So they're very specialized, you know, municipal insurance is a very specialized area. They know it well, they have a lot of resources, they have a couple of loss control guys who will work with you on things. You know, if you have questions, even if it's not directly insurance related, a lot of times we've seen it somewhere, we're happy to help, you know, if you reach out and say, hey, you know, we're working on this agreement or something like that, we might be able to talk about that. So, there's a $500 safety grant that you can get every year. I've never seen one denied. Anything that's at all related to safety, loss mitigation, you can get $500 for that. So, they're very good at work. I don't work for them, I don't have an agency, so I just represent them like I do other companies, and I've worked with them for 10 years, and they're very good to work with, so.
Swan is also a member,
Yeah.
and we're very happy with it.
Conferences I've gone to, a lot of clerks from a lot of cities have been very happy with one. I've never heard anything negative.
Maybe we'll come to if we want to. Do we have any other questions, comments from council? From the audience? Okay. Well, can I, would anybody like to come forward with a motion for the alarm bid presented?
I think there's a reason that there's only one that's highlighted as far as the options
what do you mean? Oh,
It's
that's
the 3-year, 180-day notice commitment. I mean, that's really,
Yeah.
compared to what we could spend with, Continental Western, I mean, there's no comparison here, but what it comes down to is how big of a commitment are we in?
Well, anytime you're shopping insurance, it's a long time to find replacement insurance, so 180 days is almost not enough time to find new insurance if you wanna find new insurance, from my perspective. And as far as a 3-year commitment, it's a decent enough discount, and I don't know that 3 years is all that long. We have the majority of our contracts that are more substantial than that.
And the only issue is you lock into a 3-year commitment and next year the price jumps, significantly.
Which it will, and
Which
so
it
will
will.
Western, or Continental.
Right.
I guess that is one question I do have. We get halfway into this 3-year commitment and we decide to break up with you. Do we have a penalty cost in the discount there? I mean, is that something that has to come up later because we broke that 3-year commitment? Do we owe some sort of penalty cost on what that discount was to begin with?
So it is a commitment. What it really is a contract with all the other members of the club. It's not actually a contract with.
The insurance, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a little different than your standard insurance company. So, nobody's ever tested, trying to leave early. So I don't know, I mean, technically they could enforce the contract, enforce you to stay. If you sign a 3-year commitment.
The key I think, if I'm not an insurance company, the key is on the commitment. Is any adjustments the second year they have 250 cities that have to deal with the same adjustments. And a board is representing those cities, so they have to fight, I suppose, to keep any adjustments up to a minimum because they represent cities that are paying the same increases.
Sure.
And that, yes, so, with Alarm, there is no profit incentive, because it's a pool. So what they are trying to measure is rates to financial stability. So they're basically just trying to do a rate increase sufficient to cover increased reinsurance costs, which is really where the rate increases have been coming from, is reinsurance. Reinsurance has been really up the rates. And so that's what they look at is, okay, what's the minimum rate we can increase and still maintain the financial stability we need to maintain? So the point being, they're gonna try to keep rate increases,
Sure.
as low as possible.
So, but you're suggesting that we stay with Continental Western for the public transportation?
For the public transportation, yes.
Just
And
three
that's
years.
actually, that policy is actually written through a broker with Arlington Railway. So from my perspective, the biggest risk on this is the building valuations. And knowing my own shortcomings, I think we're close, but what I think doesn't really matter. And so that's where you're gonna see, changes in what your premium is based on how close we are on the building valuations. And so that, from a pure rate, insured to value standpoint, if we're gonna look at Continental Western, EMC is not a part of the equation, but they're, from a deductible standpoint, the alarm is a better deductible. From a pure rate standpoint, their rates are better, but it's that rate of what and where the teeth are in the, since they're taking on that, measurement of what the building values are and don't have a co-insurance penalty associated with it.
And they're dealing with 250 towns that have old buildings.
Right, and that's the part that's helpful, is that we're not gonna be unique in the buildings that we have. I mean, it's
and there are mitigation strategies to work with that if it's, comes back and it's crazy.
Sure.
Are the public transportation employees included in your work comp?
Yes, I believe that. They're included now, aren't they? Yeah, so yes, they would track costs.
Well, I think we should go with the 5% savings at $104,947.
Is that a motion?
Can be if you want it to be.
I'll second.
Dean,
Yes.
Paige, yes, Justin.
Okay, so we'll easily move to number 10, discuss approve, disapprove of LARM interlocal agreement.
So this is the agreement between all members to make sure member of one.
Kinda gotta do that if we
You
already.
kinda do,
So
yeah.
it's a little bit backwards, but, so now that we've agreed to that, then are we gonna agree to be
Well,
a
sure,
strong
I'll
member?
agree to that.
A motion for the number 10,
I'll
please.
make a motion that we become a member of a large group.
Do I have a second?
Oh, did you? We
I didn't
didn't
even hear.
Paige,
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Gaston. Dean.
Yes.
Alright, and then what we'll do is we'll move to 11, discuss approve, disapprove resolution number 2025-09-LARM, 2025-26, and resolution.
And that's where you decide on your 3-year commitment.
Okay, one second, I need to read that. Okay. Is that a motion?
But you want, in your motion, you want to include, you want to be
Oh, the
3-year,
3-year.
2-year.
Okay.
He was already saying 3 years, so
Yep.
Makes the most sense.
that'll make the motion to approve the resolution.
Wanna read it that way?
I will, make a motion to, approve resolution 2025-09-LARM 2025-26 to a 3-year commitment.
I second.
Dean,
Yes.
Paige, yes, Gaston. Yes.
Alright. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and
Yes, thanks for.
being open to all of the questions that we have. We truly appreciate that.
Do we have to cover the public transportation?
Yeah, but I don't, we don't
I
have
think,
that
I
in the.
think next meeting.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
not
have to put it,
an item.
yeah, it's not on the agenda, so we'll have to add that as another item on the next agenda, please. So if we did indicate that. Okay, we'll go ahead and round out to number 13, public comment. There will be a 3-minute time limit per individuals. Do we have anybody from the audience that would like to participate in the 3-minute comment? Go ahead and start the 1-minute time.
I don't know if they can stand up.
Been sitting so long, got comfortable.
Well, I want to ask you people why at the golf course, you can't at least, you can't even double your cost at the golf course. You can't double. I mean, look at your profit and loss. You gotta answer this. I mean, June, you can't even, if you bought a case of beer for $10, you're selling it for 15. That's what you're doing right here. Okay? In July, you can't, you're buying $10 and you're selling it for $17. That, it can't be double. It's not double. Why? You can't be total idiots. Something's going on here. Gotta be feeds working. Why is it? Give somebody an answer. You can't buy a case of beer and sell it for 15. That's what you do. Is that right? That's what's here on the paper. There must be a lot of thieves working at the golf course, and you people are approving it? Why aren't you saying something? You waiting for the sheriff to get me? Huh?
You have 3 minutes to speak.
Okay.
So that's all this is for.
Why are you people thieves? Why can't you sell that for, 5 times what you buy it for? 5 times what alcohol sells for. Pretty low down life. You two, you are on council.
I haven't seen the sheet, so
Huh?
I haven't seen your current sheet, so I can't comment, sir.
Well, when you buy it
That's
for
fine.
20 bucks.
Do we have
or
anybody else that would like to make a public
31,
comment?
That's bullshit.
Sure, go ahead.
Look at this one. Buy it for
Please, yeah.
24 and selling it for 46.
And I just have
It's
a
bullshit.
suggestion. I'm on the,
I don't,
pantry, I volunteer,
I can't hear you.
and I'm on the board, I'm not one of the officers, but we have had lots and lots of rumors of what's happening. And I would like to see a meeting set up between the officers of the board and I'm not sure who, city council, sheriff's department, the hospital, so that we kinda know what's going on, because we are like, we go up to volunteer and things are happening and moving and we don't know what to do, so it's just a suggestion, but I think there needs to be some good communication.
Sure, sure. If you have somebody that you can leave contact, who you want to be contacted with City Hall or call City Hall, we can set up that appointment.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Any other public comment?
Yeah, just real
I know you guys have all your budget meetings and everything here recently. I've been watching most of them online because I haven't been able to come to them. And I see areas I think the city can still cut and save a lot of extra money, okay? And one of them, and I know this is not gonna be popular opinion, golf course, we have a full-time supervisor that works out there. And in the winter, and this is my opinion, she is not needed. That position needs to be cut to seasonal. You know, the job description needs to be changed. For what we pay her and everything, and this is not a kick on her, okay? But what we're paying her doesn't match what we're getting. Perfect example, our park lead is responsible for a whole lot of stuff. And he does not make near the money that she does. She's on salary and he's not, okay? We gotta go back to infrastructure for a town. I mean, we gotta look at our water plants, our sewer plants, our street departments. Those are the areas we're hurting as a town, that we need improvements, okay? I figured out the numbers earlier. If we cut that position at the golf course to be a seasonal position, we save $22,400 a year, roughly. That's an estimate, okay? Also, there's other jobs we've gotta cut, and this is not a kick on Jane, but Jane's position was manufactured, brought in to train. That position there, by getting rid of that saves us between $30,000 to $40,000 a year as a town. You put those two together, I mean, you can do the math. That's $60,000 we save right there in positions of employment that we need to spend elsewhere. We need more water guys. We need more street guys. We need people to work on our infrastructure. And currently we don't have that. And when I watch the videos from our budget meetings, those items are not being addressed.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, go ahead and finish number 13 then. And the last we have is just adjournment, motion for adjournment.
I'll make a really good.
Okay.
I'll second.
Gaston. Gaston. Dan. Paige, yes. Aaron.
Yes.
No, Mike.
A little, yeah, a little bit.
I was there during the movie.
Okay, I agree.
House next to me totally, and